What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, this was going to be a breakdown of Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales, but literally all we found out in that fight is that Michael Morales hits really hard. Gilbert Burns can't take the same punishment that he could when he was in his mid-30s. That's your breakdown. I ain't got anything else for you. So today we're going to be matchmaking the UFC welterweight division. The most obvious and the one we have to start with is JDM versus Islam. We know that's next for the title. It's confirmed, probably going to happen in September at Perth, and I am so amped for this fight. Islam finally gets to go get that belt he's been talking about since he was way back fighting Bobby Green. So we're going into that fight. We're going to have a war. Now, Islam, as MMA Shay loves to say, underrated boxer. Islam is an underrated boxer. If you didn't know, Islam has good boxing. You saw what he did against Dustin Poirier. But my thing is, in that Dustin Poirier fight, there's one key thing that I took away from it. And it's that when Islam is facing a southpaw, he does not throw kicks. And against JDM, the guy who has the range, the length advantage, I think that JDM, you need to be able to throw kicks against him. I mean, that's how Gilbert Burns broke his arm. Belal Muhammad had his only success. I mean, you're going to see the highlights and see him landing punches, but I mean, Jack's moving with those. He's slipping and countering on the inside. So I think Islam's going to need his kicks, and Jack can fight very well out of southpaw. So if I was game planning for Jack Della Maddalena, I would absolutely plan to fight mostly southpaw in this fight. Still switch stances, but JDM's reach and length advantage is going to make Islam have to close distance intelligently to get in on takedowns. We've never seen Islam have to do that before. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm not saying that he won't do it. All I'm saying is we just haven't seen it. So I'm going to have to early go with JDM, but when that fight gets announced, I'll come out with a full, more in-depth breakdown. Same thing for all these fights if they get announced. Now, the next matchup I want to see in the welterweight division, and I was going back and forth on this because I didn't know when Shavkat Rakhmonov was going to return. But I saw his coach saying September. I don't think they're going to bring him back in September. However, Abu Dhabi card in October, Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Sean Brady, #1 contender fight. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Shavkat's already earned his shot for beating Ian Gary. Like, I'm sorry, did Sean Brady not just sub former champion Leon Edwards? So I think that what we need to see is Shavkat versus Sean Brady. I don't love this matchup for Sean Brady. I trust in Shavkat Rakhmonov's takedown defense. We haven't seen it against a grappler near the level of Sean Brady. And on the feet, Shavkat's going to be a lot taller, a lot longer, and hit a lot harder, and way more dangerous in the pocket. So I think that Shavkat versus Sean Brady is the matchup. Put that on UFC Abu Dhabi. That's what I want to see. Now, Usman Buckley winner versus Ian Gary. This is with the contingency that it's going to be Buckley. If Usman wins, then maybe we go Belal Muhammad matchup. So we'll get into all the possibilities based on that fight. So if Usman wins, I would love to see Belal Muhammad versus Usman. If Usman loses, however, then I really don't know what to do with Usman. But if Buckley wins, we have to do Buck versus Cuck. And I think a lot of people are going to ride high on Joaquin Buckley after he beats up Usman, stomps out his knees, kicks his legs, just has an advantage in the boxing. Because here's the thing. Buckley throws in combination. Usman does not. Usman's going to be looking to find Buckley with single shots, his jab, his cross, maybe double up the jab one time. He's going to try to get him on takedowns. I don't think that he's going to be able to just maul and ragdog Buckley over the course of a 5-round fight. And Buckley has real power, and, you know, his head movement's good, man. Buckley is good, and I don't think that the single shots of Kamaru Usman are going to allow for him to really land any damage on Buckley, and he just can't, like, the takedown Colby Covington hit on Buckley was a double leg. Usman hasn't shot a double leg. Woodley fight, maybe? I mean, he just physically can't because of his knees. So I am heavily picking Buckley to win that fight. So that's what I'm going into this with. So I want to see Kamaru Usman versus Belal Muhammad. I'm not even going to waste time breaking that down. Who cares? And then we're going to see Joaquin Buckley versus Ian Gary. Now, like I said, after Buckley beats Usman, I think he's going to beat him by TKO. People are going to be riding high on Buckley. They're going to say, whoa, Ian Gary needs to watch out. I actually think Ian Gary is one of the nastiest matchups in the entire division for Joaquin Buckley. I think Ian Gary can do a lot of what Wonderboy did on the feet. Maybe not as much volume, but I think he can control the distance like Wonderboy was doing on the feet. I think that he's a better grappler than Wonderboy. And he doesn't move his lateral. Wonderboy, the reason that Buckley was able to knock him out was Wonderboy moves back and forth laterally. So what Buckley did was right hand, dip, and once he was against the fence, there wasn't any more space for Wonderboy to move. So he hit him with that big shot, knocked him out, right? And could certainly happen to Ian Gary, but Ian Gary moves so well laterally. He works off his jab. He has good combinations, and I don't love Ian Gary the person. I've said this before on the channel, but as a fighter, he's really freaking good. So I think Gary's going to win that matchup, but I really want to see Buck versus Cuck, co-main event of a pay-per-view, probably November. MSG card, no, feature fight of a pay-per-view, MSG card. Put 2 title fights on that card. That's what I think they should do. And then the big winner from last night, Michael Morales. Let's see him against Leon. Leon last fought Sean Brady, what was that, 3 months ago, 2-3 months ago? I want to see that fight. I think that Michael Morales has earned a big fight going through the other matchups in the welterweight division. He hasn't earned a Bilal Muhammad yet, but, I think he can make a quick turnaround. He got the knockout in 4 minutes, so let's see that fight. As for how that fight goes, I actually think Leon could do well in that one. I think his offensive grappling could be a key. I think that him in the clinch and him managing range. However, Michael Morales is so long, and he's got good boxing. I'm not the highest on Michael Morales. He had a great performance against Gilbert Burns, but essentially I chalked that up to Gilbert Burns kind of being past it. That's what it looked like in that performance. It wasn't that Gilbert had lost any skills per se. It was more so that Gilbert couldn't take the same level of punishment. We saw him take punishment in the Hamzat fight. We saw him take punishment in the JDM fight, and he just didn't have it in him anymore, unfortunately. So it's a tough one to break down, but I'm definitely leaning more towards Michael Morales. I just think, and when Kamaru Usman loses to Joaquin Buckley, I'll drop the video, but I just think that era of welterweight from like Tyron Woodley to essentially Leon was just really, really not very good. That's why Bilal was able to get the belt, because Bilal is good, actually. And these guys just have so many holes in their skill set. I think that Michael Morales will be able to exploit Leon in the boxing. I don't think that Leon's takedown threat is going to be enough. Michael Morales doesn't have great takedown defense, I won't lie. And I think that Leon being a little bit more bigger and physical than Gilbert Burns, he could get him down. But I trust Michael Morales to not get submitted, and in the boxing, it's just not going to be close. Leon just can't box. It's a real fatal flaw, and we've seen it exposed 2 times in a row now. And honestly, even though Usman can't really box either, he was putting a boxing clinic on Leon in their second fight. So, and for the final matchup, this one's more for fun. This is just something that I want to see. It's probably not going to happen, but I want to see Carlos Prates versus Brian Battle. Do I want to see Brian Battle dead for what he did to Randy Brown? Yes, I do. I like Brian Battle, but come on, man. You can't just be clinching and marabbing the whole fight. Like, it was worse than what Marab does, honestly. Worse than what Bilal Muhammad does. He had no intention of taking that fight to the ground. Had no intention of being on the feet with Randy Brown. But in all seriousness, Brian Battle's won, I think, 4 in a row. Only lost to Renat. Let's give him a ranked matchup. Carlos Prates needs to defend his ranking spot, and I think this is a really good matchup where you can continue to build Carlos Prates, because I think he goes out there and gets the knockout. I don't think that Brian Battle's able to control him in the clinch. I don't think that he's able to take him down. As Prates showed in the Gary fight, he is really, really high-level wrestling. So, yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. Like and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time.